Hello again, y'all. So it's been a while, obviously, but I'm also slacking quite a bit. I planned on doing a lot of this work a couple weeks ago, but I just let things get distracting to me, and I've also had a couple of other priorities. So the work on the car has been on the back burner. Thankfully, it's not too much. I just kind of wanted to space it out so I didn't feel so stressed. Not that I feel stressed, but having multiple things to do at one time can kind of get a bit time consuming, and you never know how long projects will actually go. But this is all minor maintenance. So got a stack of boxes right here. I know what all I ordered. I just, other than the AMSOIL box on the bottom, I kind of forget what all is in every box. But starting off with the hardest thing, which is going to be, as I said in a previous video, I put in the Subaru gear oil for the transmission to see if that would fix the problem. It did not. So I bought some Motul. It's in one of these boxes. Got the Motul 300 gear oil, so I'm going to put that in there. And I've talked to a shop to kind of walk through via email, as funny as that sounds, what the issue could possibly be. And it kind of sounds similar to what I've read in a forum post as well, which could be bearings in the behind the center diff or in the rear area of the transmission. So I'm just gonna, like I said in a couple videos as well, I'm gonna ride it until I'm done with the weekend, this coming weekend, or until the transmission decides it doesn't want to play anymore. But either way, the transmission, however long it's going to take me to be able to do it, will be going to the shop to see what the heck's going on with it. So otherwise, as I have also said, and sorry, this sounds like a repeat, but everything else is perfectly fine. The car operates as normal. None of the numbers on the access port look funky for what I monitor. I'm getting no knock, which is, obviously the most important thing. So yeah, everything else is holding up. It's just that whine. I'm just going to count it as a quote unquote race car noise and go with it. Pretend like I have a straight cut gear set. But anyway, I'm also a freak. And I could have gotten quite a bit of this done already, but I decided to play around and search for this exact box cutter for way too long. But anyway, going through this list of boxes because I haven't even opened them up yet. I know what's in there, like I said, but let's go through. So these are the gaskets. So when I did the gear oil for the transmission the first time, or a couple weeks ago, I did not replace the gaskets. So that's what that is. And I mostly didn't do that because I had to wait for one of them to come in, and I just kind of wanted to go out for a test drive because I was excited that possibly the solution would be found, and it wasn't. So anyway, moving on with these boxes. So just more gear diff fluid. I think I'm going to go with Motul next time because they do have a limited slip and it's quite a bit cheaper. I think I just got a little bit obsessed with Cusco products and was like, well, if I'm going to use their LSC, I might as well also use their rear diff fluid. So here we are with that. But I think Motul will be just fine. So after all that struggle, sorry about that, got more of that stuff, so yippee. And then go into this box, again, no idea. I think these are actually brakes, the brake pads that I was talking about. Yep, they are. So, I'm not even sure how these are packaged, obviously, because I just opened the box, but these are the pads that I was talking about a couple weeks ago on my last video. So, here they are. We'll see how they compare to what the EBC Blues did. Not that I was disappointed with the RP1s, but the fact that the pads broke off kind of disappointed me. So didn't really like that. Got some lube there, so that's cool. And actually something that I've never gotten with a pair of brake pads are the extra pins. So that is actually a very nice thing to have. But here they are. Almost kind of makes me think of EBC red stuff. But, I mean, by what I read, they should be good. So here goes to testing those on the track as well. So that's going to be exciting. I'm actually happy that they came with pins, because the ones that I'm using are literally the ones that I got with the transmission too many years ago. And then this one is going to be just the Motul gear oil. Yeah, it's got 5 of these good old buddies, so that'll be going into the transmission here shortly. And then the heaviest of all the boxes. This is just, I'm trying out a few things more than what I've done before. The quick shot was just something that came free with the order, so that's whatever. But I've been using the Redline water wetter, and I used that last year. So this time around, I'm gonna try using AMSOIL's product and see how it compares. I don't anticipate too big of a difference, but we shall see. And then I also decided to go with, I'm not hyping up AMSOIL or anything, but I have used their 15W50 in the car since it was built, and I haven't had an issue. And I wanted to try their brake fluid as well. I know there's plenty of others on the market, but with the membership, it's a whole lot cheaper than all the other brake fluids. And then, like I said, 15W50, so nothing exciting there. But that is everything. I've got a mess now on the floor, but I'm gonna get started. I've already kind of gotten a little bit loose, and I thought the V-band clamp was gonna be a little bit more difficult to get off, but it was easy this time around because it hasn't been sealed for 4 years, so that's good. But let's get to work and get this thing at least fluid wise ready for the track, because that's all it needs. So let's get going. Smoother than the fronts, but that's because the rear brake pads have actually been used before. Those are still the RP1s. Front ones were a little bit of a stickler, but it's because they're a little bit thicker than the pads that were in there, which those are the street ones. Now off to the brake fluid flush. So, all right, y'all, here we go. YouTuber would say, all this basic maintenance stuff, not the most interesting thing to watch, but something that I'm enjoying about the process of getting back into the groove of doing all this stuff, even though it's been a while, but not 4 years a while, just a couple weeks a while. Lessons learned, and this is something that I miss from working on this car so much in the past. Like, as with anything really though, and I'm not trying to get all like I don't know, inspirational and motivational and stuff like that, but it feels good to be like, the last time I did this, which is right now, I'm working on taking off the downpipe like I just showed you, going through it so many times, this only being the second, but you start to remember the order of processes and sequences that you go through, like all the tasks that need to be done. So this is going a lot faster than obviously last time. Now, I won't say that I could pull the engine that fast, but I have been able to pull the engine in under 3 hours before, which is probably slow for most, but for me, that was fast at the time because I remember going through step by step on a form, like literally looking at the form as I did it. But then eventually I got to the point where I was able to memorize everything that needed to be done. Anyway, downpipe is off, like I just showed. That little yellow thing that you can see right there, that's the dipstick that I have to do like half an hour's worth of work to get to. It was like an hour and a half the last time I did it. And yeah, so just to get to that little guy, I really wish this was one of the newer 6-speed Subaru transmissions because they have the fill hole on the side of the transmission, and then obviously it's still got the drain plugs and whatnot, but the fill hole is on the side. So rather than having to do all this work to get to that dipstick, a whole lot easier to work on the new stuff, as I would assume is the case for most things, unless you're getting some foreign exotic car, which they likely engineer it for the purpose of the owner saying, I don't want to deal with this, I'm going to take it to a shop. But for DIY stuff, this is not optimal, but at the same time, the transmission does what it needs to do, except for right now it makes quote unquote race car noises, as I mentioned. But all right, I'm going to get back to it. Now it's time to do the gear oil, then it's the coolant, and then it's an oil change, and I will be done. Okay, well, it is the next day, obviously. It's a little bit windy, so I have the garage partially open because I don't want to smoke myself out when I start the car up. But everything went smooth. Yeah, I just had a few problems that I had to correct. There being like 4 different bolts for the whole exhaust, or 4 sections for the whole exhaust system, and then the downpipe linking up with the dump tube for the external wastegate and all that. Kind of had I noticed when I started it up to burp the cooling system that my AFR was extremely lean, so I had to fix that. But you could also hear it down below. Downpipe and the first section of the mid pipe definitely weren't matching up. And then I was an idiot as well when I started it up, and I forgot to put the cap on the radiator. So and both of them were open, both this and the reservoir. So when I started the car and it came out, there was a giant puddle of water, and I thought I had a massive leak because I also took out the thermostat this time to get a little bit more of the coolant out. Didn't get it all. I'm not sure where the heck the rest of it was, but there was some showing in the reservoir during the burping period. Anyway, forgot to close the radiator, so I had that big issue, but turned it off, closed the radiator, filled it back up, and the burping process went smoothly. Also closed up the downpipe, and it's all good to go. So essentially, yeah, got the brakes done, brake pads I should say, rear brake pads swapped in, coolant, brake fluid, and yeah, that was it. It actually went way smoother than I thought it would, and I'm actually happy. It actually, using the coolant boost, I think it does go up in temp a little bit faster. It's kind of hard to really gauge it just because it's so cold right now, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Y'all get it. Project is done. Just gotta now put the wheels and tires back on and get this thing packed for the track. Unfortunately, as of right now, it looks like Sunday is going to show a bit of rain. Hopefully Saturday stays clear like it's showing right now, but also hopefully both Saturday and Sunday clear out. Though at the same time, it would be nice to use the all-wheel drive to its advantage. But the RS4s, I'm not so sure how well they would handle in the rain going at track speed, so I guess we shall see. They can't be any worse than what I had on there previously, which I am now forgetting. I'm not even going to mention the previous tires before this, but the tires before that. So, yeah, there you have it, y'all. But next time I have a video coming out, either going to be a good old time lapse of getting to the track or having already arrived on the track. Just depends on how busy that day is. But I do plan to be there on Friday night, just so I'm not rushing myself on Saturday morning, waking up at 3, and as I usually do, and then adrenaline keeping me awake and focused the whole day. I kind of want to get a good night's sleep and then wake up casually and, you know, not be rushed. So there you have it till Friday afternoon, so, or Saturday morning. But until then, thanks for watching and stay driven.